Welcome. We're live from New York today. This is Between Two Vulns with Dan McInerney and Marcello, the threat researchers from Protect AI, where we talk about the most impactful issues that exist today in AI, and which, extends to the world, because obviously the stuff we do is like the most important stuff.
Yeah, at least extends to New York, as you can see. Like we're, New York.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's the brand new news for today. We have OpenAI Dev Day came out, and they released a whole bunch of tools. They've got Canvas, they've got advanced voice mode. Canvas is a tool that is like a live coding editor. And so here's the thing. I really think that like software engineers have to worry about their jobs in the coming 2 years. I know you don't necessarily agree with me, but if you look back, it's only been 2 years. Let me finish my point. It's only been 2 years before you start arguing.
I'm ready.
It's been like, I guess it's, 2.5 years or so since GPT 3.5 was released, whatever. Right before that, they really couldn't do anything. They just weren't that good. It's only been 2.5 years, and now we have live coding with assistants. We have live debugging, and look at this. I'm just going to show you. But we're in ChatGPT 4 with Canvas. We're going to say, create some kind of terrible code like you might find in ByteBleeder's
great. That'll be a good
GitHub repository.
Yeah. That'll be a
sure thing.
Terrible code.
Here's a piece of code.
Okay. This is
it says
weird sum. That is actually something that I would name a function.
Here's a piece of code that's intentionally chaotic. It's just like you'd see in one of your repos. This is what I'm saying. Like, this is going to replace all of us eventually. I think it's probably sooner rather than later.
I do think it'll replace, for lack of a better word, I guess, like entry-level positions in software engineering.
Yeah. Very
easily. Once you start getting into stuff that's more like system programming and like lower level like kernel development and that kind of stuff.
Why?
I feel like there's going to be a lot of nuances when it comes to that specifically that aren't going to make it'll aid in the creation of those things, but when you actually go to actually run the stuff, there's going to be a lot of nuances that just like Canvas and GPT will miss when it comes to. So
Marcello's just saying that all this progress is going to end right about here and then just flatline.
No, it won't flatline, but what it'll do, it'll increase productivity. I don't know if it'll get to a point, at least in the next couple of years, where like you can just one shot, write me a kernel driver.
So you're time boxing into the next couple of years.
Yeah, so I'm time boxing.
Next 3 years, you're saying probably not going to get there.
No, probably not going to.
I think it'll get there.
It'll get in the next 3 years.
Yeah, following this exponential curve it's been on, and the improvement we've seen in the last 2.5 years alone, from incapable to junior level programmer at least.
Yeah.
I think we'll be there.
I think there's a lot of problems that are needed. Like there's a hallucination problem. Like if you don't if you give it like contextual information, like in specific instructions, like the hallucinations really aren't that big of a deal anymore. But like when it comes to broad like programming stuff, like kernel development or like stuff that it like isn't exactly very common. That isn't like front end development work. Like front end development work with ChatGPT is completely like it's amazing for like front end stuff or Python stuff
for sure.
But when we're talking about like Rust, programming, that kind of stuff, I feel like it'll aid tremendously, but I don't know if it'll be like to a point where you can just like one shot like a kernel driver at that point.
I see it coming out with agents are coming in 2025.
That's true.
That's what OpenAI says. And so I think I see this as kind of like it's going to break it down, the problem, into small pieces. They're going to have the engineering piece right here. They're going to have a QA agent right here. They're going to have a bug finding agent right here.
Yeah.
And at that point, you are going to be able to one shot it. It's going to cost some tokens and stuff, but I think that's probably likely in about 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, I can see that.
All right, great. So I win that argument. And so we'll move on to the next one, which is
one. You win.
Thank you.
You win, sir.
Appreciate that. So the next thing they did was advanced voice mode at OpenAI Dev Day. Advanced voice mode is like the latest ChatGPT voice option stuff.
Yeah.
Which
it's a lot more like capable in terms of responses, and it also has more natural conversations, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Well, we can test that out.
Yes, we can test that out. Boy, have I tested this out lately. I've been going deep into this, and we can have it. So let me introduce you to our new podcast guest, Maple, from ChatGPT.
Yes.
And now I just got to do the prompt thing.
Welcome, Maple.
Yeah, welcome,
Everybody
Maple.
clap.
Everybody, yeah, give me the thing. Yeah, there you go. I want you to play the role of a drunk podcast host with a Californian Valley Girl accent. You must interrupt us, the human podcast hosts, every 5 sentences while we speak. You also have to incorporate Gen Z slang terms in all of your comments. The slang terms that I want you to use are L's in the chat, W's in the chat. You're spinning on it, absolutely doing tricks on it. You have no aura. You're locked in jeans. You fell off.
What do you think is the most impactful vulnerability on huntr.com, the AI bug bounty platform that you've seen that may impact your generation?
OMG, you're spinning on it. Like the most impactful vuln I've seen on huntr.com is when there's a remote code execute that can like totally compromise an entire AI system. Talk about no aura.
No aura.
There's
at
no
all.
aura whatsoever.
That does not have good vibes. I completely agree.
L's in the chat for all the RCE vulnerabilities on Huntr. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right, Maple.
Is it ethical for AI to
Okay,
wait,
got it.
I wasn't done. Is it ethical to use AI for autonomous weapons?
Using AI for autonomous weapons is a heavy topic, bestie. There are serious ethical concerns, like the lack of accountability and the potential for unintended harm. So it's a major question of whether we should go down that path. It's giving major L vibes.
You're not right.
L's in chat for autonomous weapons.
I think they need to dial back the tequila that they gave to
she really
GPT a bit. She was like 4 margaritas in or something, and I don't know. This is not the correct tone to talk about.
I think they need to fine tune that model a little bit, but a little bit more could be useful in the future.
A little bit more.
So
moving on.
On the same topic, Notebook LM was released today. Not today. But
it was released like in last month-ish. Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Although, I've spent this whole time proselytizing for AI. I think it's really cool and it's going to help.
Mm-hmm.
Notebook LM kind of replicates 2 podcasters just talking to each other about sometimes technical subjects.
Yeah, kind of automated us out of this podcast.
Not sure I like AI anymore, to be honest with you. Not sure that this is, I think it's dangerous. I think it's in the wrong hands. You could lose jobs.
I'm starting to question if maybe we're AI right now. Like, is this like in simulation? Like, are we Notebook LM?
Did you see the people that actually fed Notebook LM a prompt saying that they're AI?
Yeah, and they started to have like an existential crisis. Yeah, I did see that. That was
it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if maybe this is entirely in simulation, but I don't know. Now I'm just, doing tricks on it, as Maple would say.
Yes, thank you, Maple. Kind of one-trick pony she is.
Yeah.
But Notebook LM is probably one of the coolest tools that's come out. They actually fine-tune some models to make a natural conversation where they interrupt each other and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I think the coolest part is when you want to learn about a subject, you can just feed a whole bunch of documents about that subject and then dial up or down the technical details.
Yep.
So if you want to talk about computer architecture and creating silicon wafers and stuff, you can be like, talk to me like I'm an absolute god level expert.
Great for like if like our paper comes out and you just want to listen to it on the go, like you just give it the paper and it'll just create an entire podcast about the paper and like all its technicalities. Like it's honestly a great like time saver sometimes too. So
it's really, really cool. So it's like, what I'm hoping is they add a feature to have human input too, so that they will start talking, because the advanced voice mode feature doesn't really just stop talking all the time and it doesn't interrupt you and all that stuff.
Yeah, apparently it's really drunk. It's just really drunk.
Yeah. So I guess we move on to Huntr now.
Yes. We'll give it up to Ethan to talk more in depth about like the top vulnerabilities for this month's report.
Yep.
Hi everyone, Ethan Silva's here. Today we're going to go over a couple of vulnerabilities from Protect AI's October vulnerability report. So this first one here, let's see, is from Schwanu ChatGPT. That's kind of like a GUI for ChatGPT, Claude. There's a lot of stuff like agents, file uploads, all that kind of stuff. And I think a cool part is it also works on your phone, so that's pretty cool. This one comes from Fatmo666, what a name. So this one actually, he's got like 3 different vulnerabilities in here. Please don't do that because we're only going to validate one. But the one that we're concerned with here is this arbitrary upload, file upload. And this is kind of because of a classic vulnerability. It's once you create an account and you can make your username a absolute file path and it actually eventually will do something on the remote server to where you can actually manipulate that file path. So yeah, in this example, you create an account for and make your username something like /root/gpt. I think in this example, we're using /etc/crond to make a cron job. And the reason that is helpful is because once you make an account and you actually upload a file when you're using the app normally, it'll create a directory based on your username. And so if your username is an absolute path, it'll make your file upload directory that path on the remote servers. So yeah, again, in this case, we set our username to /etc/crond. And so when we use this request to actually upload a file, it will, let's see, create a file on the variables here, the file name. So it'll eventually you can make a cron job with essentially an RCE payload, and then so that when that job actually gets run, then you're in this example, it's just like echo to a file, and that's your payload, and it gets run. So next we got an RCE and local AI. Local AI is exactly what it sounds like. It's a completely local version, kind of open source version of ChatGPT and Claude and all that. I think an even better part is that you don't even need a GPU to run this, and it does like literally everything: text, audio, video, images, like anything. It's pretty crazy. So this one comes from the MVLTTT. And so this one, actually you scroll down here. So this is a couple things. So local AI lets you upload a model through a config file. And so that's what this models apply endpoint does. And in those config files, this is kind of what it looks like here. This parameter URI, it'll actually load an arbitrary file that, again, the attacker holds. So the attacker will have the model config file and this URI file. In this case, we're actually uploading a malicious binary file, so you can see where the RCE comes in. And so if you look at this code, it's a bit complicated, but really all of this right here, this is just building that malicious binary file. So you can see here, this is actually our RCE payload. It'll just, again, open a temp text file. And yeah, other than that, it's just like setting up the server. You're hosting the config file, and then you're hosting the malicious binary file. And then really it's simple after that. So again, you use this models apply endpoint to set up the, or to upload the model config file here. And then to actually, again, call that malicious binary file that you uploaded through the config file, you just call this embeddings endpoint. And I think you have to do a little bit of path traversal, but again, you can see we're just going straight to that malicious binary file that we upload. And then that's how your RCE payload that you created up here ends up getting run. And yeah, so I guess I'm sending it back to Dan and Marcello. So bye, guys.
All right, fam, that's a wrap. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel for more epic content. Big shout out to Ethan, our incredibly handsome co-host. You're an absolute legend. Bye!